Hi, this is Sandy, and I just wanted to share with you today some cards that I created. And I would also like to go through a card with you, putting one together, and you'll see how simple they really are. There's easy cards and there's harder cards. I do easy cards. I am no good at hard cards. So, easier the better for me. And if you're just learning how to do cards, you might like the easy cards also. Now, creating these cards, I will show you these and then we will go through a card together. This one here, I used the Spellbinders Nestabilities to get my shape for the center. And then I used the Stampin' Up inks, and for the rainbow effect I used several different colors. And I used, where did it go? I found it. I used these sentiments. I love this, kids' quotes. And I just thought these were the cutest things ever. And I used these stamps because they just seem so fitting with a children's. And I love, absolutely love these clear gel stamps. They're so easy to use. You just put them on your block and you see right through, so you can place it where you would like to place it. And I use the Martha Stewart Edge Punch. I love the edge punches. They give it a nice look. And the little heart punch, I use that. Now with this one here, I used the, let me get it, the Cuttlebug Pro Crafter, or Pro Craft. And because it was a large card, I ended up cutting 2 of these out. I did 2 of them, and then just butted them up next to each other. And they came together so nicely, I did not have to hide it with a ribbon or anything like that. And the paintbrush I put together by using cardstock and just made my own shape to look like a paintbrush with dripping paint. Excuse me. And then I used this to give it a little sparkle on the paint. I don't know if you can see it that well, but I thought that was just too cute. And this one I added a little bit of jewels to give it a little bit of sparkle there. And the same with this, I added the jewels to it. And I didn't use any ribbon on this. This is all cardstock to create the button with a button punch, the hearts, cardstock with the heart punch. So you can use any ink. And for this, these 3, I did use the Stampin' Up. I do like the Stampin' Up ink. And I used the Cuttlebug folders and the Nestabilities. So now I'm going to have my daughter come and help me for a moment. I'm going to get my table ready so that we can start a card. I've already got everything pretty much cut out so that it doesn't take a lot of time putting it together. I wanted to get everything ready. And focus over there, and that way. Here we go. So now we're gonna get this set up. What I did was I like the layered look. So this, I used my little punch stamps, and I used the green. I think it's called sea green. I'm not quite sure. And I cut this out using my Spellbinders nestabilities, and after I cut it out, I was able to position where I wanted to put my stamps. So I got that all set up, and then this was the largest of the sizes for the nestabilities. So I laid this down on a piece of green cardstock, figured I wanted an overlap because I want to see my green. I want a nice frame. So then I cut this out to go with this. And then I went and decided, okay, how big is this card going to have to be? So for this particular piece, you're looking at a card approximately this size. I like a little bit of overlap, so when people open up a card, they're not fumbling. So I cut my card to the size that I wanted. Then I like to have what I call my canvas. So this is my canvas. When I am layering, I want my canvas. So here's the canvas. Then I had to decide on what colors I wanted. And I like this. And I still like to frame. So I'm not going to go to the very end. And I cut out my paper. This is my cardstock. And when I cut it, I laid, well, first, my canvas, I had to figure out how big my card was. I want a little overlap shown of my card. So I cut it out according to that. And that's what I did with these. I didn't want it to go all the way to the edges, so I measured, I cut out. And to be quite honest, I don't measure, I eyeball. And I place my paper, I'll show you what I do, it's crazy, but it works for me. So I'll put my paper and I'll put my cardstock down. And I'll say, okay, how much do I want to go over? So if I just want a little bit over, I'll go like that. And now I know how far I have to go. So this is over, this is under, and I cut it that way. And that's hard. I think in the beginning you should always measure and play it that way. It's a lot easier. But I'm doing it the way I always do it, so. Alright, so we got this. We've got our canvas, if I can find it again. There we go. Alright, so we have this lined up. And there we go. Now I have ribbon that I'm going to apply to this, and first I need to tape these down. So I'm going to get my tape, and I'm going to, oh, it'd be nice if I took this off. So I'm going to go around the edges.
I gotta go poop, Mom.
Okay. We gotta laugh at that one. That's my grandson. But gotta go, you gotta go, right? And okay, so I'm gonna line this up. And then, where did my other paper go? this and this glue. I call it glue, it's tape. But it is really, really good. And before you stick it, you have to make sure you're right where you want to be, because it will rip your paper up. It's just a great adhesive. Now, I want to put ribbon around here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape this side of it. Let's see. Alright, so now we have this part taped on, and we're going to want, here it is, to tape this right about there, I believe. There we go. Now, if you wanted to, you could use the dimensionals and apply this using that. So, it's up to you. And I love using the dimensionals. And it just gives it a nice puffy, bright, raised up look, I guess. You know, it rises it up off of the background so it stands out more. And I think they're just adorable when they're pushed up. Okay, so you could add more if you wanted to, but I think this will be good. So now what these are like tiny little pieces of foam, but they have adhesive on both sides. So, and they stick pretty good. Yep. Alright, so now we're going to center this approximately there. Now, the back of the card, we're going to work on that. A card is flimsy if you do not put something on the inside here. You have to do that. And I've already cut out a piece. And I don't want to go all the way to the edge. I never like to go all the way to the edge. And I don't like to go to the edge here. I like to give it a little bit of dimension. And it's up to you what you like to do. But I like the look of layering. I like the look of depth. So we're gonna put this inside of here, and like I said, you want to make sure you have it laying properly, because if you don't, it's not going to be good. Just a moment, honey. Mommy will come in just a moment. Now this is what it's gonna look like. Okay, let's hope nobody hears that part. My grandson, he is too cute. Hold on a moment, honey. Okay, so I use different inks. I love the Stampin' Up, but I'll use all different kinds. My children. I've got 5 children. My husband. They are always buying me things. My loved ones. They know I love to craft.
Come here, Mom.
So they are always doing something for me. And okay, my daughter's back, and so on the back of the card, I want to add a stamp, and I really like this one. It's so pretty. So here we go. And I think that is really, really pretty. So that will dry. And I wanted to show you something else also. I'm going to need Amber back here again so I can show you. But this up here, I like to add a little ribbon. So I'm going to take what I call my canvas, and I'm going to punch a couple of holes. And I think right there is good. So here, let me go through that one again. It's kind of stuck maybe on the tape. There we go. So I'm going to add my ribbon. The ribbon is old. So that's the name of that. Now, I have been working on cards, and my fingers, I've got ink all over me. Okay, so, got that. And I couldn't decide whether I wanted a little heart, green heart, coming down, or if I wanted a little pink heart. So I think I'm going to do a little bit of both. A little green in the background. And we'll just use, normally I would just go ahead and use my stick glue, but of course I can't find my stick glue, so I'm going to do this and just put it over a little bit, and then just position this. I want to cover up happy. I want to cover up happy anyways, it looks like. There we go. I don't like the way that bow is looking. There we go. So, a simple card, and really quite easy. Now we apply this. Okay, the dogs are gonna have to, I tell you, every time I try to do a video, I have dogs wanting to be part of the video. So, we're going to put this right here. Line it up real good. Now, I also have another sheet for writing your sentiment, and so this is going to be placed. Okay, so it's all done. It's all done, and I think that is adorable. Thank you, and I hope you were able to get some ideas. Like I said, the way I do cards is different. I don't measure, I just cut by putting something down, lining it up, seeing what works. And this here, I did want to show you something. When you're doing a card, you have to make your creases, and I have a tool to do that, but you can also use like a paper clip, and that gives you a really nice crease. And all you're doing is just pressing along that line. Amber, I'm going to need your help again. When you have grandchildren and mommy needs to help them when they're doing things, it gets crazy. Okay, so you can use a paper clip, and that, oh, it'd be nice if I got in here. So, without you, and then you need something to give it that sharpness, because if you don't, you're not going to have a good fold. But like I said, you can even use a paper clip. You can use a pin that it's all dried up. It's not going to work anyways. But it'll give you a nicer fold. You're not going to have all the tearing at the edging. Like if I just went and folded it, for the most part, this would crinkle and it would be as nice of a seam. So, these are much nicer folds, and it's easier. So, anyway, that's just a little tip there, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I know I make mistakes while I'm doing my filming, and there's a lot of noise in the background, and if you can get over my stuttering and all the noise in the background, God love you. Thank you. I hope you subscribe and come back and watch some other things that I might put on here, and I thank you, and bye.